everybody, it's MaryAnn Camacho here, and today is episode 4. How many employees does it take to change a light bulb? I'm going to dive into chapter 2, and I'm going to hit the question head on. How many employees does it take? If there are too many policies, procedures, approvals, handoffs, and other baloney in the way, this light bulb changing issue can become a nightmare. The true answer to my question is that we really only need one employee to change the light bulb. One able-bodied, enabled employee who sees the problem, finds a solution, and executes it simply because they can. If not, that light is going to be out for far too long. People are in the dark, and you spend far too much time and money trying to fix it. I want to share a pivotal experience that I will never forget. I was a leader of a pretty large team, and I was meeting with various supervisors and their managers to get to know them. And I knew something was wrong when I heard Maggie, who was one of the supervisors, describing the reason for one of her employees' less than stellar performance. She said to us, "Jane has to work the overnight shift. You know, she's a single mom with 5 kids." I didn't understand what the supervisor Maggie was trying to say, but I could imagine why there might be some performance issues with her employee. I mean, taking care of 5 kids all day and then working through the night has got to be grueling. But I was flabbergasted by the supervisor's apparent callousness. I mean, my gut began to twist, and I wanted to know the real reason why Jane's performance was not up to par with Maggie. So I asked her, what does having 5 kids have to do with her job? I mean, it must be incredibly difficult to feed those children and ensure they have a safe place to live, especially on her salary. And what training has she had in the last year? What does she aspire to do? And it was at this point that our supervisor Maggie's eyes began to well up. She had never thought about Jane this way. She had never heard a leader care beyond the numbers. So having this kind of discussion about a frontline employee was a turning point for Maggie. And it was really a light bulb moment for me to see how when a supervisor starts to empathize with their employee's perspective, they take a really big step towards a more caring and trusting relationship. I tell you this story because the employee experience and the customer experience are directly correlated. We know from years of research and simple common sense, it's that the better employees feel when doing the job, the better their service to customers will be. We know also that a great customer experience leads to better profit and growth. And companies that focus on great customer experiences can naturally improve their employee experiences by engaging them in the design. So we know higher customer effort experiences lead to higher costs to serve, and nobody wants that. Case in point, not having enough staff to answer customer service calls leads to salespeople fielding those calls. And if the customer cannot reach a customer service rep, they call their salesperson. Not only is this a more expensive service interaction, but also the customer is not really likely to be in a buying mood when they're taking out their frustration on the person that's supposed to be doing sales. So how do you go about setting up the best environment for your employees? I had to face this question many times. Years ago, when I started leading a call center that was the subject of an MIT case study, our first year agent attrition was really high, very high. The day I arrived, there was a crowd of people in the lobby being hired in. We didn't need them because of growth. It was to replace those we had lost because others had walked out. The environment was not pleasant. Was it the pay? Was it the supervisors? Was it the benefits package, work, blah, blah, blah? Yeah, It was all of that. It was the employee experience, which is a full enterprise full of people, processes, and technology, and it was not working effectively until we began to listen and realize what our employees were being asked to do. I have found a repeatable way to create an inspiring culture, developmental opportunities, and clarity and meaning of work in teams. And it starts with one team, one model team at a time. What exactly is that? It's a small and scalable team that you focus on to enable long-term operational success. It's, say, 5 to 30 employees led by a dedicated manager, supervisor, which you can shape into the kind of team that you want others to become. It's a model of success for you and others. It truly is about creating a prototype, then another, then another. A few or even just one small team at a time. And by taking a stepwise approach, you can quickly scale change across your organization. So you focus on this one team, you get them to demonstrate the way you want all of them to work, but you don't wait for perfection. You progress until the team is good and stable enough for you to start another. The premise is to build one team that can then be a model for the next team to follow in terms of goals, learning, and engagement. And you start by selecting a model team, a group that has earned your trust and has requested the investment of time and resources to prove that there's a better way and that it can be done. You train them. I'll go into future chapters about how you do that. It's not onerous. It's not labor intensive. You're going to do it in bite-sized nuggets. You're going to instill daily operating huddles. This has discipline and it has thoughtful structure, and it is the way that you set the accountability. You visualize the metrics, the things that, the KPIs, the key performance indicators that you want the team to achieve. You innovate with employees constantly. Remember, the front line has some of the best ideas needed to transform your company. You coach, change, leadership. You coach, change, leadership. You'll have to. This is all about change, and we can't assume that our teams know how to do this. It must be taught. And then, of course, you reward, you recognize, and you promote. Lucky you, lucky them. You're going to be creating a succession path. So while it involves several steps, 7 actually to be exact, it's not slow. In fact, you better get your giddy up suspenders on to make this big change happen. But once you decide it's time, don't look back. Go for it, because your team is counting on you.